I feel like a couple of days with kind of snappy practices sometimes can be what the doctor ordered when maybe the execution isn't where you'd like it to be.
Yeah. Sorry. Can you
Sure.
repeat the
So,
question?
couple
Sorry.
of days of practice,
Yeah.
high tempo, that sort of thing. Even as a goalie for the whole team, is that maybe can help you guys when
Oh, yeah.
executing is something you're trying to do?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear you
It was a weird way to
correctly. This
ask.
first one, but no, for sure. I think, especially now that obviously we're not exactly where we want to be result-wise. So, getting some higher tempo practices. Obviously, trying to make the execution as best as we can. I think that's kind of the little small area that we just got to improve on, is a little bit better on the execution side of things. And if we do that, I think we'll be happy with where we end up.
I just want to take you back 11 months ago. Obviously in Carolina, 6-3 loss, and then the winning streak started 2 days after that.
Yeah.
Can you maybe take us through back that night and the lessons you kind of were able to obtain throughout the course of the next few months after that game, and then how you can maybe channel that into turning the start of the season?
Yeah, I mean, before that, all the way up to that Carolina game, it was pretty tough for everybody in the locker room. I remember getting pulled after the first period, and obviously pretty devastating way to just play the game. Felt pretty good, and I remember in warm up I tripped and went all the way to the other side of the ice and bumped into a couple of Carolina players, and you're just kind of shaking your head. And but no, after that, as a team, we spoke just on the way that we need to end up playing, and to be honest, watching how Carolina played was super helpful because they just kept the puck in our end the whole time. They were very, again, goes to your question too, the execution level was just a lot higher. So we had a really good talk as a team afterwards and just really built off that. And then that's kind of where you saw us have a little bit more belief in each other, just because we have to work together to win the games, right? So once we ended up learning that, and then the rest is history.
Stuart, did you see the snow shower that Vasilevsky gave Morgan Riley in the pregame warm-up?
I did not know.
Never done that. Where he comes to the center and the guys are stretching it. Gives a player a snow shower.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other way around.
I got a little bit of a routine in the warm-up. If somebody's in the way, they'll probably get showered with the snow, but I don't think I have.
Post practice, like at the end of a morning skate, and you're starting, you always kind of sit on the bench. Maybe when did that start, and what is how that helps you, or the purpose of doing that at the end of practice?
Yeah, for me, after it started kind of back, I would say my second year pro hockey, playing in the American League. I know playing in the ECHL, I was pretty stressed out and always wanting to get up to the next league. And once I did that, one of the purposes is just hydration and getting some liquid in me after the skate, but also just looking up in the stands and realizing where you are and understanding that you could be in a lot worse places than where you are today. And that's kind of the purpose, just being on the bench, hanging out, talking to some guys, and just kind of realizing the moment you're in.
Trying to figure out what you're going to say to us.
Exactly, yeah. It's been going through my mind for the past couple of weeks. You guys haven't talked to me in a while.
Well, you didn't start great, but
Pulled. Can a goalie tell in the game he's going to get pulled?
It's always pretty tough to tell. There's sometimes you can get that feeling if things are going obviously poorly, but you never know. You obviously never want to. You never want to be looking at the bench. But yeah, for an example, against Winnipeg, after the fifth one went in, I was like, I'm guessing that they're probably thinking about it. But besides that, you're just trying to stay in the moment, and if it happens, it happens, and then if it doesn't, that's obviously what we would like.
Period coming out for the next period, you're not on the bench as opposed to being pulled in a period where you got to skate off to the bench.
That's a tough question. I'm sure for a lot of goalies, myself included, you never it doesn't really matter if it's after the period or before the period, or at any time it's the worst feeling to get pulled, just because you realize that you didn't do your team a service. So obviously it's our job to be the best that we can be, and when we're not at that best spot, it's one of the worst feelings.